Hello, hello, hello. Hello. It's me, Kylie. I am painfully awkward. It's been a hot minute. And by that, I mean I was on a journey in the last 9 months since the end of summer, but I've decided to come back and I'm gonna just try to do it the best that I can. It's gonna be what it is, but here I am, and I'm here with a May 2020 TBR for you. I've tried out a couple things over the last like 9 months to a year. I tried commentary videos, I tried vlogging again, I've tried a whole bunch of stuff, but for some reason I'm always finding myself drawn back to booktube. I want to go back to booktube. I'm starting to read again, and can you believe it, since October I've only read 2 books. So I don't really have a wrap up for April, but I will briefly talk about what I did read. My cats are like, hold on, I gotta let my cats in because they're like banging on my door. So here's where I've landed. I want to come back to booktube because I'm starting to find my groove again with books and reading and where I stand in life and what I enjoy, and that's books. But I'm also gonna sprinkle in a couple movie stuff just because I'm trying to watch more movies. I would love to, it's one of my New Year's resolutions this year to see more movies in theater, which right now is not possible, but hopefully soon everything kind of returns to normal and I can start going to movie theaters again. So that's kind of what I want to do. But I've already spoken about the book I read in October, and I want to briefly discuss what I read over the last week. So if you don't know, I am now an admin again at Literary Alliance, and that book club has a special place in my heart. I made it from scratch with just a handful of my friends who liked books too, and then over time I was like, you know, I want to grow this, so I started promoting it within other places where I saw it appropriate. Of course, I'm not just going to spam people if it's not interesting to them, but a lot of people were interested, and most of them came from bullet journal groups when I used to do bullet journaling. And at one point, Brianna joined the group and she became the first admin as it got too much for me to handle all by myself. And little did I know, she's also a YouTuber, and now we're great friends. But I took a break from that back in September of 2019 just because there was so much going on in my life. I've had major changes. I was fed up with my job. And I just needed to step back. I needed to go find myself, figure out work, life, where I am in everything. I thought I found that with the job that I announced that I got back in November and October, and it was not pretty, okay? That job took such a freaking toll on me, my mental health, even my physical health, that I just stopped doing everything I loved. I stopped reading. I didn't read a single book during the whole 5 months I was employed there because it was so stressful and I was so stressed and I just couldn't bring myself to do what I loved. I was depressed, anxious all the time, and this might be a little bit TMI, but it was so stressful that I actually got my period for over a month. And I thought something was wrong with me. Turns out I was just very, very stressed. So I found a different job, and it's been about a month and a half, 2 months there, and I am back at it. Here I am, book in hand, ready to get it. I joined the book club because I was talking with Brianna and Crystal, and I was like, yo, you know what? I really want to get back into reading. I'm feeling this like need to pick up a book and do things. And then they're like, oh, well, we still need an admin. You want to come back? And I was like, fuck yeah, sign me up. So they signed me up, and I picked up the book of the month for April, which was The Girl in 6E by AR Torre. I think that's how it's pronounced. Not a lot of people were that excited about it, given isolation, stay-at-home orders, all of that, but I'm morbid, so I read it. I loved it. I really loved it so much, and it was just so refreshing. Now this book is about she's a cam girl, and she has these like murderous tendencies. So she isolates herself in her apartment, and she's been there for 3 years, hasn't stepped foot outside the door. There's a side character named Jeremy, who's like the delivery guy, and he knows the routine. She will not open the door to sign it, all of that, and he's getting more curious about her as the days go by and by. She starts to notice in one of her clients some really strange behavior, and she decides to take action for herself. And what I really liked about this book was honestly the conversation about like trauma. I don't know, like I can't explain it, this is unscripted, but it went deeper than just the girl likes to stab people or she is a cam girl. Like there's more layers to it. She is really complicated. She has a lot of baggage to deal with, and at the end of the day, it is kind of her story on her dealing with it in a weird way. It was really gripping. It was kind of slow the first 35%, but like as soon as it picked up, man, I was gone. Like you couldn't find me. I was like literally sitting at work and I'm like on my Kindle. It's great. You should definitely read it. I recommend it to those who really like thrillers. It does have some very spicy scenes in it. I mean, spicy as in sexy as in sex. So if you kind of like your glimpses of sex, then go ahead and read it. If you like to see a really scummy person be taken down, you should read it. And then I also recommend it for people who are very interested in mental health. It's not an outright like this is your mental health kind of book, but it does have the conversation about dealing with past trauma within it. And if you're into that, this is a very interesting one. Nothing too in your face, but it's really interesting. I also found out, and I'm excited because now we're gonna hop into the May TBR part, I thought this was just a standalone, and at the end of it, well, I thought it was amazing, and I gave it 5 stars, by the way. I couldn't help but feel like everything wasn't wrapped up. There were some questions left unanswered. There were some things that really needed to continue. It was like a ending, but like there's more coming, but you don't know it. And I didn't know it because Crystal was talking about, hey, there's these Kindle books on sale, and I was scrolling through that and I saw the book number 2, and I was like, number 2? So I found out that it is like an act 1 of a 3-act story split into 3 books. So the second one is called Do Not Disturb, and this picks up right where the first one left off, and I'm like, I want to read it so bad, but I've got a couple things I need to get out of the way. So that's book number 1 that I want to pick up here in May of 2020, and the next one I want to get to is of course the third one. That one's called Do Not Disturb. Photo right here. I'm just really excited. Apparently the second one is even better than the first one, which we'll find out, but yeah. And then the next book that I'm going to be reading here very soon is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim, and that is our book club pick of the month for the Book Club Literary Alliance on Facebook. There will be links down below if you'd like to join. I don't know anything about this book. It was already picked before I had joined back into the book club. So I didn't pick this book, I didn't read anything about it, but I'm gonna pick it up just because like I'm feeling this need to just read and adventure back into it and find everything that I'm loving. So I don't know much about it. I guess I could Google it, right? So what I will do is find a description, probably on Goodreads, and I'll just read that, and then you can make of that what you will. How far will you go to protect your family? Will you keep their secrets, ignore their lies? In a small town in Virginia, a group of people know each other because they're part of a special treatment center, a hyperbaric chamber that may cure a range of conditions from infertility to autism. But then the chamber explodes, 2 people die, and it's clear the explosion wasn't an accident. A showdown unfolds as the story moves across characters who are all maybe keeping secrets, hiding betrayals. Was it the careless mother of a patient? Was it the owners hoping to cash in on a big insurance payment and send their daughter to college? Could it have been a protester trying to prove the treatment isn't safe? Okay, that sounds interesting. That sounds like a big old discussion waiting to be had. I don't know what to make of it, but if you want to join in and find out with me, or if you've read it and you want to participate in the discussion here sometime this month, you can join the group. Facebook link is down below. Just make sure to answer all the questions because we do require that. We will not accept people who don't answer every question. And that's just to protect the group and the people within it, prevent scammers, all of that. Next thing that I'm excited about is, it's called I Am Alive. I checked it out from the library. It's by Kate Alice Marshall, and I'm very excited just because I'm on this like thrillery, like survivalist kick right now. I really like the trying to survive thing. That's intriguing to me at the moment. And this is about a woman. She is going to live with her dad. This isn't a spoiler, it's right in the description, but her dad dies from somebody in his past and she's out to get revenge. Their cabin catches fire and she has to survive in the Canadian wilderness all by herself, trying to get this guy. And it's just telling that survival tale. I read the first couple chapters and it's kind of like before the fire, after the fire kind of a situation. I hope it turns out great and it's everything that I'm expecting. And then the last book, I don't want to overload myself. This one's kind of a bonus if I can get to it. I don't have heavy promises, but it's called On the Up by Shilo Jones. All of these books that I have mentioned so far are going to be read on my Kindle, but I would like to ease into like a physical book. And this is one book that I've had that I've been on and off about for the last couple months. I don't really know what it's about, but it's about people, from what I understand, it's about like people trying to rank up in their life. Apparently it's like contemporary. I think there's a little bit of humor in it, but it's not a very well-known book. It's only got like 50 reviews on Goodreads. I can't find a Kindle copy. There is no audiobook copy. I got it off Book Outlet. I am shocked that I did, but I only have the physical copy, so we'll see how it goes. We'll leave it at that. If I can stick to filming, I will have a wrap-up for you at the end of the month or beginning of next month. And then if I do read anything else, I'll of course let you know then. You can also follow me on Twitter. Instagram will probably be better than Twitter, honestly. I will have my handles here in the description. I do post about my life and the next book I decide to pick up and what I'm doing, mainly on Instagram, sometimes on Twitter, but do go ahead and follow me there. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. I've got lots of plans in my head for videos in the near future. And ring the bell icon if you really don't want to miss it. Otherwise, just go ahead and leave a comment, whatever you want. I don't care. Just try to be nice because I'm a sensitive person. That's all I got. You have a great rest of your day. Bye. Thank you.